Hey everyone, this is Jean and you're watching a little indie game dev update for Friday, the end of the week, 14th of August. So in yesterday's video, we added sound and it's had quite the impact. It's had quite the impact on how I myself perceive my little indie game. This is my attempt at making a widescreen Legend of Zelda in the 8 and 16-bit style. Let me just turn off the sound a little bit. And we are continuing today. I'm going to make another attempt to polish up this game so that it would be ready for a presentation. It's first thing in the morning. I haven't warmed up the vocal cords yet. Since yesterday, of course, having watched the footage a couple of times to get a little bit of a distance from playing it, this is one of the points where I feel like it's still lacking. There's no mumble-jumble typing sound effects when they're talking. There's just little things that can still be added to improve it further, of course. It was just my first attempt getting sound effects into the game. But then after spending 2 days working solely on sound effects, what I actually did yesterday, after putting together the video, was something very different. Because there are other ways to improve on the presentation of the game and that first impression other than sound. And they've already been in the game. Last week I put up an update where I explained how I was working with different times of day and trying to incorporate that into the blueprints themselves of creatures, pickups, the world, so that there's a 5 o'clock setting which I've already been using, as you can see here, and then there would be like an 8 o'clock in the morning setting, so to speak, so to mix things up. But as an artist, looking at this top-down adventure, which is of course flat, but looking at it, I see that there's a lot of shadows that we can still add that would perfectly fit in with the shadows implied by the objects in the game. And that I'd like to show you now, my expansion of the shadow map that is placed on top of this one. Just a second, let's fire up the old adventure game. Here we go, here we have it. So I have been playing around with raster, here a dot matrix, some shadow shapes. I added these numbers because this is on top, right? It's a little tricky figuring out where I am. So I have a separate layer called camera box layer where I put these crosses so that I can more or less see where each camera area begins and ends, to give me some indication. I added the numbers. So this is camera room 1 and then above is camera room 3. And then over here, you're still in 1, that's this rectangle here, but then the bottom rectangle is camera room 2. That's kind of the system. But here, you can already see what I've been building yesterday. Now this is tricky because I can't actually see the game. I only have these crosses to go on. So what I do is I play the game, I make a recording, I have that on my second monitor, and I just pause it at the different location. And then I just kind of guesstimate where I want to draw. I hit save, I hit play, and then that's kind of how I've been building these up. So let's show these in action because I want to show you what a dramatic impact light and shadow and contrast can have on such a simple game world. So we're in the corner over there. A lot of these shadows have just been lined up a bit better. Here I actually add a shadow in the shadow map for the object. Clearly over there in the water, in the top right, I'm off by a couple of squares. There's still a lot of experimentation going on. Sometimes the rastering looks a bit much. Like down here, I feel like I'm overdoing it. This effect is a bit much, right? I mean, it's like when you're actually playing it or looking at the character, looks cool. Just at a distance, I'm like, but this is one of the things that I have to learn. This area now comes with music. And then it softens as you walk away. The lady wants to talk to me. We do not have time. So one of the things I'm learning is that I have a base layer and I have a top layer, and depending which one gets the raster and the regular shadow square, it gives a different grimy kind of look. So over there, right, so this is just raster. I'm very fond of that one. Over here, just regular shadow. In other news, the bug that has been persistent and that has been bugging me for a long time, where it appears that you cannot use the interaction button on the first go, but then sometimes it even comes back after the what appears to be a fix, which is going in and out of a menu. I looked up the nodes, I looked up the code for the button, and instead of having a wire on started, I have a wire now on started and triggered, and the problem has disappeared. It's fixed. I like the shaft of shadow over here. Oh, you can't see it, sorry. There's a little shaft of shadow over here. Very fond of it. It needs to be a bit more here, but then you have the light sources of the flames. It's a bit hard to see, but there is actually a shadow around it. This over here is around it. It's my first attempt at creating light and shadow with using the shadow map like this. I'm gonna make that a bit darker, more pronounced. And I'm also thinking in project 3 of the Cobra Code course that I was following to build all of this, and then expanding massively on it on my own in the past year. The third project I have not done. I've just looked at it. But I know that there is a shader that kind of pokes a hole through pokes a hole through objects, so that if your character goes behind a building, you can see through the building so that you can see where you're going, right? Very typical in video games, so that you can see what's happening in a 3D space. But I'm thinking for my 2D top-down game, if I apply that, can I then poke a hole through the shadow layer? Because if that works, then he can carry a torch, and that would make a light and shadow effect pretty cool. So this is what I'm gonna work on for today. Wish me luck. Let's cut to the next section where hopefully it's finished. And we're back again. Is it on? Yes. In my attempt to spruce things up and add a ton of polish on my starting area to make a nice first impression, I have added a whole bunch of shadows today, which we'll have a look at in a second. And for the last hour and a half, I have been looking everywhere for these. I thought they were named differently. And I've got a nice little collection of assets from HIO and other places. Just couldn't find them. What you're looking at here are tiles for water, animated water. And I've taken one of these and then I asset flipped them into my own, so they fit in with my my own other tiles, and just expanded on this. But I didn't take the water, and I think it's time that we figure out how we can take just the water and then drop it on top of what I'm doing. But how I'm doing that, because I need to be able to break this up neatly so that I can still tile my map, but with animations. And how exactly I am going to do that, that is the big question, because I don't know. I just know that I have to figure out how to cut these up, remove most of the rock, so that I can put it on top of my version of these rocks. So that's the plan. Let's fire up the Unreal Engine for a second to show you what I accomplished today. And here we are, my shadow map. Doesn't look particularly interesting like this, I suppose, but I think like all the way up here, so I actually placed the player for once on the other side. So let's just first have a little walk. Let's zoom out for a second. Make sure that you take this one along for the ride. Shift. I'm hesitant to put the sound on because I started getting a lot of distortion for some reason, and I think it's because the headset and this one don't play nice. So let's just see if that is still the case. There are certain areas where the sound is cut out completely, like these little in between the sound effects, and I've been trying to find them so that I can you know, add just a little hint of sound there too. See, it's nice and subtle. I love that sound effect. Nice and dark over here. I've got the shafts in between that ridge. I don't want to call it a mountain range, but I think that looks very nice. Let's just quickly go down there. See how it plays with the player. It can actually get pretty loud closer to the waterfall, but waterfalls are really loud, so I really like that effect. Ah, I'm blocking it, aren't I? So, right up here, I think I found a nice little balance where the shadow of the mountain is right here, but using tiles, the flames seem to have their own little light, even though there's no light source like, you know, Unreal can provide. Yep. Cross the water over here. Going to turn the sound effects down just a bit. So the tiles directly above me, those are the ones we were just looking at, but that's not these. Across the water, it is. Let's see. Here we go. That's the edge of the map for now. This area is quite tricky. And that's the edge of the world. And that waterfall is what we're going to be animating. But I don't think we saw these tiles. So hopefully I can figure out how to animate these myself. But this is our focus today. This one right here. And then this is what I'm going to cut up and see how that is going to fit in. So wish me luck. See you guys in the next one. Cheers.